What's up, guys? So today I want to take a look at the 2020 Senate elections. Now this one is the Democrats to win and the Republicans to lose. It is an uphill climb for Democrats to take the majority this time, and there is all these polls going out, but I really think that they do not account with the coattails of the different candidates of Trump and Biden. But we're going to start it by filling in the safe states. Of course, Idaho and Wyoming, they are safe, that's quite obvious. South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, South Carolina, West Virginia, Alaska for the Republicans, and by the way, Alabama. Some say it's lean or likely Republican, but to be honest, both Jeff Sessions and Tommy Tuberville will have a quite easy ride against Doug Jones. Now, safe for the Democrats. These include Oregon, Massachusetts, even though there is a primary there, both Joe Kennedy and Ed Markey will easily win that election when it comes down to it. Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, and of course, not the vice presidency, but Illinois. Now, there are also some quite obvious likely seats. You have, for the Democrats, New Mexico, even though Tom Udall is retiring. For the Democrats, you also have Virginia, New Hampshire and Minnesota. They have gotten into the likely column though. They could have been more competitive earlier on, but that's not going to be the case this year. Some likely for the Republicans include Texas, Kentucky, Iowa, and Georgia, where David Perdue is probably going to win that seat. I mean, he is facing John Ossoff. Sorry, I can't say that name. Ossoff! This is the seats that we have left. And the reason, there are so many seats in red states is because many have been seen by pollsters and called quite good shots for the Democrats. You have Kansas. I personally do not think Kansas will have a decent shot at flipping. Yes, Chris Kobach is running, but you have also the representative from the biggest district, the district in the west here, which is most rural, and will probably be a very good candidate to win that election. Also, you have Montana, where Steve Daines is facing Steve Bullock. Now, that one is also in a lean GOP column. It would have been safe if Steve Bullock was not running, but since it is getting more competitive. Now, remaining are probably the most controversial. Maybe not Georgia, because Georgia special election, that's probably going to go to the GOP as well. Now, the GOP is now already at 50, and assuming they win the vice presidency, which they are on the road to doing as we speak, now that gives them the majority, and the Democrats will have to win all the toss-ups and another seat or the vice presidency in order to get the majority, and that is a long shot. Yes, the Democrats are ahead in Colorado. I have seen Cory Gardner be there actually leading in fundraising, but he is far ahead in the polls, and he's probably going to lose that race. Same thing in Arizona. Now, Martha McSally is facing Mark Kelly. She might win. Cory Gardner might also win, but it's not likely. So we're currently putting them both in lean Democrat. Well, you could say that tilt in Arizona because it's a bit more red state, but now we get to the more juicy stuff. Maine, Michigan, and North Carolina. Now, polls have been showing Sarah Gideon winning over Susan Collins, but I don't believe those polls, and here's why. First of all, they don't account with the disgruntled conservatives, the Trump people, that are quite unlikely to vote for Sarah Gideon, and though they might not approve of the job Susan Collins is doing because she's not conservative enough for them, they will still vote for her. And I don't think that the polls are going to tell the truth at that point. She won last time by 68% of the vote. That is a lot. That was, I think, more than most others. It was more than Kentucky Mitch, it was more than David Perdue, it was more than even candidates in the Deep South. She's going to win re-election. Now, Tom Tillis, he's not doing that well in the polls either, but in the end it is a election year, and The Democrats have not won in North Carolina on the Senate level or in the presidential level since 2008. Now, Richard Burr actually won re-election last time there was a presidential election here by 6%. Now, Tom Tillis might not be as good of a candidate as Richard Burr. He might not be as popular, but he is probably going to win that race. In big part because of Trump's coattails. North Carolina was won by Trump by like 4 points, won by Burr by 6 points in 2016. Tom Tillis is going to win that race. Yes, Roy Cooper is probably going to be re-elected, the Democratic governor, but it's not going to be enough. Now the last one is Michigan. Michigan, Gary Peters is meeting John James, and polls have of course shown Gary Peters leading. But if you look at the results from 2018, now John James actually, he lost to Debbie Stabenow by 7 points in a blue wave year. And he's more well known now. Gary Peters is less known and probably also less popular than Debbie Stabenow. And of course he is the candidate that has a good shot at eating into the Democratic base in the Detroit area without losing too many votes among conservatives and Trump voters in the rural part of the state. So, as we speak, we're going to give that a tilt to the GOP, to John James. Now that leaves us with no changes in the result. Still 53 for the Republicans and 47 for the Democrats. But that's it. So, even though this might be a bit off, I don't think that the Democrats are going to be able to win the Senate this time around. I think they will win it in 2022. But that's it for me today, guys. So see you soon.